Hello, hello, hello. This is Misty Magdalena Grace with the new and improved version of Healthy and Wealthy and Wise, where we talk about spirituality, psychedelics, plant medicine, microdosing, and really that journey within to finding your best innate wisdom, to your best health, your best wealth through all sorts of inner child healing, trauma release, grief recovery, overcoming addictions, and working with the mind, the body, and spirit. So go ahead, leave a review, subscribe, download. We look forward to your feedback. Thanks for tuning in today. All right. Hello, everyone. This is Misty Magdalena Grace. If you haven't been paying attention to my podcast, I actually went public last week with my new spiritual name, coming back to remembering who I truly am. And I am just so excited to be sharing that with you publicly again and again and again. It was my ceremony name. It's been my behind the scenes spiritual name. And so here I am today sharing it again with you guys in my intro. So we're here with another episode of Healthy and Wealthy and Wise as I'm transitioning into the relaunch, which is next week. I just want to remind you guys of that. Next week, Wednesday and Thursday, I'm going to be celebrating the relaunch of this amazing podcast. And I'm so excited to be heading into the spirituality realm, leaving the health, your best wealth by trusting your best wisdom. And part of how we do that here at Healthy and Wealthy and Wise is through plant medicine. I prefer the words sacred plant medicine to psychedelics, because when people hear psychedelics, they think drugs, right? And that's not the case. And I'm actually really excited to unveil officially, because I've talked about it unofficially. This is my favorite microdosing tool now. It is ayahuasca. It's called the Biperius capi vine from the Amazon jungle. It's legal, oh, by the way. So a lot of times too, people kind of get a little scared, a little nervous about the whole not legal issue, but this is from the Shipibo tribe, and it's something that you can take under the tongue, hold it for 10 to 20 minutes. You're going to hear more about it next week. You're going to hear more about it shortly here on this podcast, because I'm going to be hitting the share button and sharing a recording with my sponsor of my 3rd year podcast anniversary and relaunch. And that sponsor is Soulvine, the distributors of this amazing medicine from the jungle that is actually procured by a plant medicine woman, which I'm so excited to share that with you. And she, my sponsor, Farah Diani, the founder of Soulvine, whom you're going to meet here shortly, she actually has been working with this medicine for 5 years herself, microdosing with it. She's a psychotherapist. And I found her just early this spring. And I was so blown away by the effects of this product in me. And then after 60 days of sharing it with my own body and co-creating beautiful magic of healing, and I'll share with you my results here shortly, that I wanted to have a beta test group. And that beta test group just finished up this past week. And I'm excited to report they all had stellar results, exceeding their expectations. And so now I'm becoming a microdosing with Aya specialist because of those results, because this happens to be a legal product. And I'm saying legal, not illegal, legal. And then the results speak for themselves. It helps with anxiety, depression, focus, mood, weight loss, because it's a natural appetite suppressant. And I'm so excited because having been in the health and weight loss industry back in the day for 17 years, I got really tired of the quote unquote supposed anti-whatever suppressant kind of products, because they weren't healthy. And this is a sacred plant. This is from an indigenous tribal culture where they don't have a concrete jungle. They have an Amazon jungle. And it's not the Amazon that you and I order from, right? This is the real deal. This is where people grow this, and we actually have the ability to heal naturally with herbs, and in this case, a sacred plant. So I'm really excited to share with you that today. And in my personal results were exceeded my expectations. You know, being able to have softening into my feminine, to be more vulnerable, to be more open to that femininity, to nurture myself more, to mother myself more. I had a lot of sacred womb healing, which is sacral chakra, sacred sexuality healing, being more open to that side of myself in a world that suppresses sexuality, you know, thanks to religion, culture, TV, all of the things. Sex has not been considered a sacred act. And I'm really grateful that I got to receive a lot of healing working with her and now being able to help my clients with that. A lot of codependency release. It's definitely helped me bring myself back to more love and compassion. Our hamster died last week. And I actually cried more for a hamster that last week than I have cried for a lot of humans, just because I was allowing myself to go there. I allowed myself permission to grieve and to really just allow the tears to flow, which again, in our society that's more masculine dominant, we don't give ourselves permission often enough to do that. So that's why I'm excited. I'm going to share with you a recording because Farah actually traveled. She traveled today out of the country, and I wanted to be able to pre-release this so that you have an awareness of how this medicine can help, the origin story of this medicine, and the mission and the vision of the founder of the Soul Vine, my partner, whom, if you go to third-podcast-anniversary.now.site, I know that's a bit of a mouthful, it'll be in the show notes, you can actually go and purchase this product if you want. And then I'm also giving away some free product on my anniversary. If you sign up, and you got to register, and there's a bunch of steps you need to follow in order to be entered to win. I didn't make it super easy, but it's also not super hard if you're really serious about your healing and you've been curious about microdosing, and especially if you've been curious about microdosing with ayahuasca, which I know some people are like, whoa, is that a thing? I didn't know you could do that. It's very accessible. And I got to be honest with you, it's a lot cheaper, and it's also a lot gentler on you than psilocybin, in my opinion and my experience. It's also way more gentler than going and sitting and doing a deep dive with ayahuasca, which I know is kind of trendy. It's more curious. Popularity is increased, so on and so forth. So I'm going to go ahead and share my video, share my screen. This is the first time in a long time that I've done this, so I hope it comes across well, and that you can hear Farah and me in our podcast interview. Comment below, though, if you cannot hear as I'm sharing this screen and sharing my audio. So bear with me a second. Here we go. Let's do this. Well, all right. I'm so excited and honored to unveil this third-year anniversary podcast sponsor in my new friend, Farah Diani, who is the owner of the Soul Vine and actually who introduced me to microdosing with this amazing, beautiful, beautiful medicine. And she has an amazing background. One of the things that impressed me the most about Farah is not only is she a medicine woman, she actually has a psychotherapist background, so a lot of science that she brings to the table. And then she started to fall in love and experience the beautiful grandmother ayahuasca medicine. She's also a combo practitioner and a healer. And now she offers up this medicine, like I said, to help so many people, including myself and my clients. So Farah, I'm so excited to have you here. I'd love for you to share, because it's got to be an amazing story being a psychotherapist and being in the medicine space and starting this company. I'd love for you to share more about yourself.
Thank you so much. And thank you for having me, Megan. It's nice to see you again. I'm a psychotherapist. I started with, doing therapy with people, specifically people with addiction problems. And that kind of led me to trying to find new ways of helping people. For me, the medicine called me about 16 years ago, and I drank the medicine a few years later. I went to the jungle in Brazil, and I was with the Yawanawa tribe, and it was an amazing, profound experience that I had. And I just decided that I was going to continue with it. So I did continue drinking the medicine, and I kept going back to Peru, and I came across another medicine, Cambo, that I had never heard of. And it was a very intense experience, and I did it by the river in the Amazon rainforest. And I thought I would never have this medicine again. It was just not a good, it was not comfortable. It was very uncomfortable. But I did feel amazing after. And I somehow that medicine called me too. And I got trained, and I was treating people with Kambo, and it was helping people with depression and anxiety. And then I came across someone who was microdosing ayahuasca, and no one had heard of microdosing ayahuasca at that time. So I started microdosing, and it just changed my life. And it's interesting because I feel like I got connected to the spirit of the medicine when I started microdosing. And I had sat in many, many ceremonies, but I actually got really connected to her deeply. And she would come to my dreams, and it was a sign for me that she actually chose me to serve this medicine and bring it as microdose, because as you're aware, ceremonies, there are many, many ceremonies here in the US, especially, and they are not affordable for many people. So microdosing makes it available for people who can't have access to the medicine readily, or they just can't afford to go to ceremonies. And it's also it's legal, and it does the healing. It's the healing, you can heal with this medicine, because ayahuasca, the vine itself, is a potent antidepressant and anti-anxiety medicine, and it also helps with neurodegenerative diseases. So just the fact that it is legal and available at a very low price, I think that that helps a lot more people that can't go to ceremonies or can't go to the jungle and have a shaman treating them. So this really opened a way for more people to have access to her. And I feel like there's a reason why she has made herself available in this way, is because she wants to reach more people all over the world, not just in the States. So this being legal and being available and being affordable, I believe, is something that has happened because she wants it in this way, as well as sitting in ceremonies. And sitting in ceremonies, it's an intense experience, as you know, and it's also not for everyone. And people don't screen their people very well when they sit in ceremonies, and that causes a lot of issues and gives Mother Ayahuasca, our grandmother, a bad name. And that's not something that we want. So so this is really helping a lot of people, and I'm really, really happy that she found me. She thought that I would be the right person to serve this.
Yeah, and I'm so grateful too. You said so much in there.
Yes.
We'll spend the next 10 minutes sort of unpacking a little bit, but I know since I've relaunched this podcast, Healthy and Wealthy and Wise, to be one of the most available, thoughtful, safety first with plant medicine type podcast, you said something that most people are probably like, wait, what? Ayahuasca is legal? Can you explain more about what you mean by that? Because I know there's a lot of people that are probably confused right now.
Yes, so in the ceremonial admixture, there are two plants. There is the ayahuasca vine, and there's chacruna. Normally there's chacruna that has DMT component. And so this is only the vine and not the admixture. So the vine is used by the tribes, has been used for many, many years, thousands of years, in admixtures with other plants as well, not just chacruna. So so this is the main healing plant, and the common denominator in all these healing plants that are being offered by the tribes. And we in the Western world only know that mixture that's combined with the chacruna leaves and ayahuasca. So yeah, this is the main healing plant, in my opinion. That's why the whole mixture is called ayahuasca. And you know, of course, the DMT part has its own part, but it's not necessary to have a journey all the time, and it's just not doable. And you know, when you talk to many of these shamans, you realize they don't drink ayahuasca all the time, you know, and they're serving this medicine because there's a high demand right now by the psychedelic tourists that go down there. So the ayahuasca vine is known. It is not psychedelic. It is legal, obviously, because it's not psychedelic, and it is mixed with over 80 plants that are known to us by the tribes for their healing. So yeah, so that's why it's legal. There's no DMT in there, and you can have it every day as microdose, and it's going to change your life like it did mine.
That's awesome. And I will tell you guys, you know, where you can find this amazing, I call it a sacred elixir. That's my phrase. And I've shared prior to sharing this interview just how it's helped me just soften so much more, because before I didn't know you could microdose with ayahuasca either. Like, it wasn't even a thing. I thought I had to go and do the deep dives, which I have done countless. And sometimes those were they rocked me so bad that I'm like, I'm never sitting with grandmother again. And so it was really profound to find you and to be able to then start dosing. And for me, just to have that softening, more femininity, really coming home into my body more, because I think a lot of us as Americans especially, but globally, we're all stuck in our head. And you said something earlier, because I'm curious, because of your psychotherapy background, and you talked about the uncomfortableness. I think a lot of people they don't like discomfort. They don't like to be uncomfortable. You know, when you're talking about your experience with Kambo, and even many of my experiences with Kambo and ayahuasca, people are afraid of that. They just want a quick fix. They just want to be like fixed yesterday and be healthy, whole, and complete. And since you have a background working with psychotherapy and addiction, you know, why is it important to, as in my belief, get comfortable with the uncomfortable? Because that may come up even when they're dosing, right?
Yes. When they're dosing microdosing ayahuasca itself, it's actually very gentle and it's manageable. It's not like a ceremony. You know, when you sit in a ceremony, it's just so out of control. Everything's out of control, and there's just so much happening. But with microdosing, you do go deep, and you get a lot of messages. Your perspective changes, and but it's subtle. You have to be patient. You know, you're right. We're looking for that quick fix. We're looking for the magic pill, and it just doesn't exist. You have to do the work. You have to do the inner work, and you know, and you need to be consistent. You need to be committed. You need to be persistent. You need to you know, you can't quit, because this is your life and your healing. So you need to continue. You need to do, as you know, you need to do whatever that you can do to heal yourself, and you're responsible for yourself. So you know, the messages that come to you, you have to pay attention to, you know, because it's subtle. It helps you tune in and get to know yourself a little bit better, because every day you're tuning in and checking with yourself and your body and the medicine, and you know, then you understand how the medicine works. You have to be patient with yourself and your healing. So, and do the work, that's all I can say. If you don't do the work, no one's going to do it for you. If you want to feel better, you have to do whatever you need to do. So that's my opinion.
Yeah, and you've been dosing with her for how long?
5 years now.
5 years, yeah. So that also gives you guys perspective. I've been dosing for 3.5 months, almost 4 months now, and have had support, also integration to take what you receive these messages, and then how do you embody it, and then take aligned action, because the messages come, but you got to actually be conscious of them and take action, right? To see the results, lasting results.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And I believe, you've never heard of a success story that someone quit in the middle of, there's no, if you want to be successful in it, you can't quit. And what you need to do, you have to look in your toolbox as well. Doing the work is looking in your toolbox. You have the microdose, you have ayahuasca microdosing. And for me, it's been a miracle to come across this, and it's always my go-to, medicine. The first thing that I like to, when I'm feeling a little off and imbalanced, because I know I'm connected to the medicine. I know that it works. So, and it's gentle. Of course, there are other medicines that we can use in case, in case of, if it's something it's an experience that we need to shift quickly from that, the emotions. There's Sananga, there's Hape. We have all these magnificent, beautiful, amazing medicines available to us, and ayahuasca is definitely one of the main ones that I go to. And I believe that people should look into their toolbox and see what they have to work with. Most of us have a lot of tools to work with, like breath work. We have a breath. We can just use that. Take deep breaths. We can do yoga. We can do meditation. We can just go for a run, go running, do some exercise, dance. You can dance and feel better. You immediately makes you feel better. You just have to do it. And counseling, integration work is very important. So if you can have all of those, then it's amazing. If you can, if one thing works for you, do that. Even if one thing makes you feel better, do that. So that you feel better and you can have a better life, because we're here to evolve and to not have all these distractions, and we're not supposed to be depressed and we're not supposed to have anxiety, but we live in a world that is almost impossible to not have stressors. We have stressors every single day. So people ask me, how long do I need to microdose ayahuasca? And I tell them, as long as you have stressors in your life, on daily basis, then you need something, to stay balanced and to keep you, centered. So as long as, if you can go somewhere that you don't have any stressors, then sure, you can just not take anything, and because you are your own medicine. But as long as we're living in this world of, the big cities, with the jobs that we have and the technology that's just astronomically, it's going fast. It's just going so fast that we can't keep up. Our biological bodies are not designed to evolve as fast as the technology is designed. It is improving. So yeah, we need these medicines, and that's why they are here and they're available to us. I think the plants want us to have access to them, and this is an amazing way of having access to Mama Ayahuasca.
I love it. I'm so grateful for you and our partnership. And you said everything. Thank you for being here and allowing me, someone who's a plant medicine woman, to be able to serve this along with Hape and Sananga, and to spread our wings, and like the mycelium network, or like you and I were touching all these different people's lives together. So I just also want to acknowledge you and say thank you so much for coming into my universe, because everything you just said, the breath work, the meditation, yoga, inner child healing, all of that's inside of my Healthy and Wealthy and Wise subscription, which I give to my microdosing clients. So just so you guys know, Farah and I have partnered, and if you become a microdosing client of mine, I include grandmother ayahuasca, because again, it's legal. That makes it so much easier. I personally, it's my favorite now, above psilocybin. True story. I actually dosed with psilocybin this weekend, and I noticed the difference, like almost immediately. Like my body said, "Oh, where's grandmother?" And so, sure enough, this morning I went back to grandmother and became softer, and immediately felt my heart opening. So if you guys are looking for heart opening, if you're looking for softening, especially, learning how to mother yourself is one of the best things that ayahuasca and all of the medicines, not just ayahuasca, that have taught me, is how to go and within and find the tools, like she said, to help support those anxiety attacks, those feeling not enough attacks, those negative hamster wheel thoughts that we can sometimes bring in as our worst judges and critics. That's what I think the medicine with the tools that Farah mentioned can really make a huge difference. So before I ask you one last question, I just want to remind everyone, go check out her website is on my website, on my page. She's the premier sponsor of this event. So please go support her business. Click on the Soulvine icon on the website, the 3rd year anniversary website. Click on that. And then if you want to win some free microdosing coaching, which will include the Aya, I have a 2nd place prize for the person who signs up. So you got to register, you got to enter to win, and there's 6 things to do total. It's all listed on the website. I'm not going to go over those now because I want to focus on the last question. But if you want to win and experience this medicine for free, go register and refer some friends and all of the things that are on there. So thank you so much, Farah, for being who you are, for being on this path and listening to the call of the medicine. I wanted to ask you one final question, and then if you have any other closing thoughts that you would like to share. Since my podcast, even though it's relaunching as a spirituality, plant medicine, healing podcast, it's still called Healthy and Wealthy and Wise. So when you hear that phrase, healthy and wealthy and wise, based on your journey with the medicine and just in general, what does that phrase mean for you?
I think that describes a person who is doing the work and has healed himself or herself to a certain extent. And, it's, if you're healthy and wealthy and wise, you can only be in these states if you are doing the work. And that's basically, I feel like what comes to my mind is, again, that we are responsible for ourselves and that we need to do whatever it takes without harming any beings, to do whatever it takes to bring ourselves to that state of mind or state of being that the divine has decided for us. And that's our natural state, actually. So it is our responsibility, and we should do whatever it takes to heal ourselves, to help ourselves, and to bring ourselves to our natural state, of being. So I encourage everyone to do that, and I think microdosing ayahuasca can help you, and it has helped me. It has helped tens of thousands of people that I have worked with. And this is something that I know for a fact that is helpful. So if you are, at a place that you think you need some help, give this a try, be patient, and do your work, and you'll see the results. And I just also wanted to thank you for having this event and what you're doing as a coach, because you're contributing to the healing of the collective. And this is, we are all each other, helping each other on this path, and we rise together. So if I'm helping someone else, I'm helping myself as well. And and it's great to know there's help is available through you and others who are doing the same thing that you are doing. And I really appreciate what you're doing. Thank you so much. And I'm so glad I came across and met you.
I love you so much, my sister. I'm so grateful. I'm sorry to cut it shorter because I know this, we have a lot of guests on this anniversary and this relaunch. I'm definitely going to have Farah back again so we can go even deeper, and you'll see her again as a repeat guest in the near future. So check her out. I'll even post your Instagram. I love your Instagram profile, by the way. I'll put that in the show notes so you guys can also follow her. Beautiful posts, beautiful inspiration, especially if you feel called to the medicine and you're maybe just not quite sure. Follow her, stay tuned in, stay plugged into this amazing journey that we're on collectively together. So until next time, guys, here's to your best health, your best wealth, whatever that means for you, and learning to trust your best innate wisdom, for it all lies within. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.
All right, guys, thank you so much again for getting a sneak preview. This is going to be one of the guests on our relaunch podcast anniversary next week, July 26th and 27th, 4 to 7 p.m. Pacific time. Go to the website in the show notes. That's where you can also find out more information about the Soul Vine and Farah Diani's amazing offerings with ayahuasca and grandmother and healing through the sacred plants. They are our greatest teachers. They show us what to heal. They show us how to feel, how to bless and release that which no longer serves, which is really, truly, I think, our calling, our karma in this life, and especially with the age of Aquarius and the awakening that is upon us. So please tune in, tune out, show up next week, sign up, register to win the free ayahuasca giveaway and coaching, as well as the free plant medicine ceremony. And tune in to more episodes of Healthy and Wealthy and Wise. Again, this is Misty Magdalena Grace, Magdalena for short, signing off. Until next time, guys, here's to your best health, your best wealth, your best wisdom. Look forward to seeing you on the podcast anniversary next week. Bye-bye for now.